Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk to you about this little box game. It's kind of like an escape room. It's called Decktective. This is the brand new one, You Can't Cheat Death. There is a sort of series of them and this is the brand new one. This is from DV Games and this was provided to me for the review. Unlike a lot of escape room style games, there's no app involved. And there's no time limit either, you're actually working through the deck of cards. And no spoilers in this review, the size of card is the size of the box, so you know they're relatively decent sized cards, and you're going to be working through the adventure and then trying to answer some questions. I'm not going to go into specifics of this other than what you see once you've set the game up, and then very vague and not giving anything away. So this is all based around the poker game that you can see on the front of the box, and if you have a look at the back of the box, you are going to set up this sort of scene using the box. So to do that, you're going to take the front and back of the box, put them together, lay one card in the middle, and then have three cards around the edge. Now that creates the scene and you're going to be looking at that, deducing some stuff as well as playing the rest of the cards from the deck. The way this works is on your turn you have a choice. You're going to have a small hand of cards and you'll be either playing one card face up on the table or discarding it face down. Now the caveat here is that each card in the top corner has a number. That number of cards have to have been discarded face down by the team, the group of players around the table. If that's not the case, you cannot play that card face up. You can discard it to add to that discarded level, but you might want to hold on to it, discard something else, and then later on you should be able to play it if you've discarded enough cards. Now you're going to be working your way through the deck, and again, not to spoil anything, periodically there will be some sort of twists which enable maybe other cards to come out of the deck and things like that. At the end of your turn you're going to be drawing a card from the deck, which is how you go through it. You're then given that new bit of information. Your friends around the table aren't, and until you're able to play it. So you're building up information, discarding bits that you don't think are that relevant or that useful, or maybe you think, well, it is useful, but I just need to discard some cards to play these other even better ones. Now, let's talk briefly about the theming of this one. It's based around the poker table. I'm not going to go into too many details, but obviously you come across a murder scene and it's quite a fitting sort of theme. It feels gangstery, it feels like, you're in somewhere that's not necessarily the right side of the law, and you're there to sort of try and piece together some of the information to work out what happened. You're going to be answering the questions at the end using the sort of little peg things that have been provided, and that's going to give you some points, and that's going to determine how well you've done. So you can get them all wrong, but it will tell you what actually was the right answer and stuff like that. But realistically, we did relatively well, middle, high on the scoring. We missed a few things, and it's one of those ones where you play through, you learnt some clues, and then maybe that little clue just didn't quite click, or you just breezed over it, and maybe you even discarded it because you didn't think it was useful. And at the end of the game, things, when you're answering those questions and the answers are coming back to you and you didn't get it right, you're like, oh, we had that bit of information, we just maybe didn't think of it in the right way or whatever. And that's a really clever use of the cards. Now, the crime scene being constructed at the start of the game out of the game box and those cards, that's a really genius sort of situation. It's not used to much effect in this version of Decktective. In one of the previous ones that I've played, I think it was the Bloody Rose, there was a little bit more interaction with that, with cards swapping in and out, which didn't happen in this. It was fun to be able to see the crime scene. I think that's a really brilliant point. because you can sort of look around and try and get some clues from that to go with the clues that you're playing from your hand. I just like the fact that it's there and it's a visual representation. I just think that maybe you could have done, or they could have done more with that sort of in this one. Just because maybe I've seen it done better in one of the other Decktectives, it's maybe making me think, oh, I'm missing that from this one. All in all, it's relatively short. It's a one-time experience. You're going to be playing for 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on how quickly or slowly you're going to go around the table. And also, with different player counts, you're probably going to be playing cards a little bit faster or slower as you're waiting for it to come around the table to your turn. We played it with 4 and that seemed like a really good number. I think you could play it with less and still get a good amount of enjoyment out of it. You'd still get that same impact of not being able to play cards when you want to because there aren't enough discarded and stuff like that. And it would probably be faster. But we enjoyed it at 4, being able to bounce the ideas of what happened and go, ooh, well that person did this, maybe that means this, and then you've got those sort of like mini detective minds sort of running, and that's what Decktective is all about. So if you're liking escape room style things where you get that one-shot story experience, well, this might be might be a series that you should check out. Decktective and You Can't Cheat Death being a very solid entry to the series. Until next time, check out other news, reviews and such on the channel, and I'm Oliver East, signing out.